as God is my witness, he is broken in half. Sorry. That's the JR call from Mankind falling off the top of Hell in a Cell. I'm sure you remember that one. Guy getting thrown off the top of the cage and hitting the announce tape. Yeah, Mick Foley. Well, okay. We reacted to a WhatCulture video not too long ago. It was the 10. It was, I believe it was the 10. Gosh, I forget now. It's been a thing. I've had a hell of a week, guys. You're gonna have to forgive me. I'm looking it up right now. WhatCulture? Come on! You got to watch. We got to know which one we reacted to. There it is. 10 most extreme WWE matches ever. That's it. Yeah, I remember that now. Okay, so we reacted to that, and people seem to like it. People seem to want us to do more WhatCulture. WhatCulture wrestling, and Micah is a bit familiar with wrestling. I mean,
yeah, a little bit.
Name me a professional wrestler that you're familiar with.
Ric Flair.
Woo! Okay, so Flick Rare, as my dad calls him. As a matter of fact, me and my dad had a skit a long time ago that we came up with, the Ric Flair car alert. Woo! 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 You are now in the vicinity of someone that is under the protection of the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, the dirtiest player in the game. Woo! 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 Step back or be violated. Oh, I remember that. Me and my dad, we died laughing when we came up with that. But
I remember he was interviewing somebody. He was talking about, he's like, I'm Ric Flair. He's like, it was like something. He's like, he said something I wasn't expecting. He's talking about like chasing girls and like going to parties and like he hadn't slept in like 20 years or something. Because
this is the face I imagine for Ric Flair every time.
Man,
I don't know if he's trying to look tough there or what. I'll have the image up here. I don't know if he's like trying to look tough, but it looks like he's in the midst of a mean dump.
Like, man, like I don't really watch a lot of wrestling, but I would inevitably a friend would always have like TNA on. I guess it became Impact Wrestling, but they brought Ric Flair on as kind of like a manager or whatever.
Oh, I remember.
I seriously thought
he was managing AJ Styles at one point.
I think so. That may have,
oh my
but
gosh.
I seriously thought he was going to drop dead of a heart attack any time because he'd get up there and do his thing.
Oh, dude.
And it looked like a blood vessel was going to burst in his head. It just like...
Yeah, I could see. Well, Ric Flair, if anything, he is a passionate individual and has like... and you know, when he speaks, you can feel it.
Yeah.
That's just like... He's now managing his daughter in WWE. He's managing his daughter, Charlotte, and she's actually pretty good. And she's only going to get better with time, I think. But she's got a good persona, and her dad has done a real good job of managing her. And because Ric Flair, he can cry on command. I've noticed this about him. He can cry on command, and it's awesome. And it's awesome to see how in depth into the story he can get.
Are you implying that they're actors and that somehow this stuff isn't real?
No. Well, in some cases, wrestling does get real, which they've actually got a list for this on here. I've seen it come up every now and again. I haven't watched it, but there are times where wrestling has gotten real. I've heard and I've seen as well, and
it sounds to me like you're implying that some of it's fake. In which case, I'm sure.
Here's the thing.
I think the comment section's got something to say about it.
Storylines. I was gonna say, okay, tell me this: how come Triple H gets dumped off the top of this giant forklift thing that's like 30 feet in the air? The car gets dropped on its head, and he's back on Raw the next night. Are you telling me he did not spend the night in the hospital?
He's that tough.
My ass.
He's that tough.
Okay, if he survived that, he's Jesus.
I'm sorry.
You heard that. The big-nosed dude with muscles and everything named Paul Levesque is Jesus Christ. Actually,
I worked with a guy that looked like him. It was kind of freaky, actually.
I was going to say, did he talk like this all of the time? That's how he does his promos. He always adds the at the end, like he's a caveman trying to figure out how to use vowels.
I mean, the dude, Yeah, kind of a little bit.
Oh yeah, and let's not forget the Katie Vick. You don't know about the Katie Vick angle. It's good that you don't know, because that was probably one of the most disgusting things I watched that live, and I'm still haunted by it to this day. I wish I'd have never watched. I wish I'd have never turned it on that night, because it was nasty.
I don't keep up with a lot of wrestling.
Good. There's some things that are worth keeping up with. For instance, I keep up with the athletes who are actually, I call it professional wrestling because that's what it is. It's not sports entertainment, it's professional wrestling. These guys do the moves, they take the hits, they take the bumps, and they deserve to be called as such. They're not entertainers. They're not going around the ring, prancing with ponies and everything.
I mean, it is entertaining though.
Oh, it is entertaining, but at the same time, these guys are performers and they take bumps. I mean, there's all the stuff that, between professional wrestlers and sports entertainers. I think sports entertainers are people who like climb into boxing rings and pretend to win over like true professional athletes. I think that's where the entertainment side takes over. And that's what happens with some celebrities that appear on WWE. I mean, honestly, Snoop Dogg, all 130 pounds of him, manages to tackle a 230-pound man. Are you kidding me?
It was pretty entertaining when Stephen Amell fought Stardust, though.
Oh, that was awesome.
That was pretty cool.
You watched that because Stephen Amell's involved.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was that was like a big drawn out thing. I mean,
yeah, it was.
It was like he was in a match, and then he like shoved him, and then he tackled him, and then they like.
Well, Stephen Amell's a good sport.
They
everything.
They like trash talked across like a whole bunch of social media for a long time, and they set up the match, and it was entertaining to watch. I mean, they did a really good job.
Well,
with
that's
it.
where the entertainment part comes in, and I like it. I like some parts of that, but overall, I think the people who are the wrestlers, I think they deserve to be called professional wrestlers, because I think wrestling is a sport unto itself. The high-flying maneuvers and everything that they pull off.
Oh, yeah. These guys have to be super tough,
Yeah.
I mean, to do some of this stuff. And, I mean, you see the abuse that some of these guys, I mean...
Yeah.
Because a lot of them are not in good shape. I mean, poor Ric Flair, he is in rough shape right now.
He's in good... he was in good shape for long, considering he's almost 70 years old. I mean,
Sting is held up pretty well.
Well, he's retired now. He retired after he injured his neck really bad.
Yeah.
But a lot of these guys are in their, it's just like The Rock. I mean, The Rock's in his 40s. Look at him.
Yeah.
My gosh. TRT's doing something good for him. Testosterone replacement therapy. It's illegal in the UFC, but not in WWE. So, and of course, Brock Lesnar. I mean, the guy's almost 40. And the guy's a mountain of man.
He's a big dude.
I mean, honestly, in my nightmares, if I were to be chased by a human being that I wanted to be truly afraid of, it would be a man from the IRS, whose valet is Brock Lesnar.
That is terrifying.
That is terrifying. It's just like you need to pay your taxes. I don't want to. What? Brock smash! Ah!
Yeah, I can see it.
I was gonna say maybe it could be Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's Brock Lesnar's lawyer / valet, and imagine if Paul Heyman was the IRS coming after you. He's like, you need to pay your taxes. No, Brock, take him to Suplex City, and that's that. Well, okay. Anyways, some of these matches. Some of the matches have pretty bad moments in them, like whenever someone slips off the top rope, or when someone takes a fall too hard or falls wrong on a slam, and things can go bad really quickly. Botches are part of the game, and they're hard to recover from sometimes. But WhatCulture has compiled the 10 worst botches in WWE history. Now, for those of you who are the faint of heart, I get the feeling that some of this could be really bad. So, we shall see. Anyway, 10 worst botches in WWE history by WhatCulture Wrestling. Here we go.
Even though a lot of wrestling resembles two steaks being shaken in a Tupperware box, there's a lot of physical and verbal precision required to pull off those special moments that
one of my
last for
favorites.
generations. Sometimes that happens, sometimes Not so much, no. And wrestlers fall foul of a move, leaving them embarrassed or injured or both. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and these are the top 10 worst botches in WWE history. Sin Cara, the one-man walking botchamania, defined his career by making an ass of himself in public. He proved that he didn't need opponents, at one point almost managing to pin himself by botching a backflip whilst alone in the ring. But the bad icing on the bad cake was when the faceless one broke his finger botching a suicide dive against Alberto Del Rio in 2013. What made the botch so bad was how he reacted to it, waving the referee over and calling off the match. Most wrestlers pride themselves on soldiering on with detached retinas or busted shoulders. Broken fingers are no joke, but calling off the match halfway through made this one of the worst botches of all time. Number 9. Papa Shango misses his cue. Oh, Papa Shango, you so racist. The voodoo priest was pushed hard after debuting, being booked to interfere in the main event of WrestleMania 8. Shango was supposed to run in and break up Hogan's pinfall to Sid Justice after the atomic leg drop. Shango missed his cue, forcing Justice to kick out of the Hulkster's finisher, which never happened. Then Shango arrived, looking apologetic, and quick tip, if you're gonna screw up, try not to screw up in the main event of the biggest pay-per-view of the year. Number 8. Batista botches something. This isn't a severe botch in terms of injury, but it's definitely one of the most embarrassing. It's unclear what was attacking Batista at this point, but it definitely wasn't Mark Henry. Perhaps it was invisible bees, perhaps it was ghosts, or maybe Batista forgot he was supposed to fall over and called upon the acting gods to pull him out of a jam. Smooth. You tricked them, Batista. You're a clever little friend. Number 7. Randy Orton gives it another go. Speaking of Evolution members, back in 2004, Rob Van Dam and Chris Jericho faced Randy Orton, Ric Flair, and Batista on Raw. Y2J had Batista in the walls of Jericho, and the Viper, then going through his legend killer phase that we all go through, thought, I do the RKO, yeah. And then he overshoots and falls on his ass. Oh, Randy in for a penny, in for a pound. Take
out of
two,
nowhere.
and
Nope.
the RKO properly this time. Don't worry, Randy. No one saw. No one in the whole world saw. Number 6. Psycho Sid gives it another go. Sid Vicious, aka Sid Justice, aka Psycho Sid, always had problems talking. The words would leave his brain fine, but then they'd stop off for a few beers on the way to his mouth. A few would turn into a lot, and then the words would die of alcohol poisoning, and that's a Sid promo. His most famous botch was before his match at In Your House 5. He did this.
Well, the skeptics and all the people have a little bit of... Let me do this again.
Oh, it's live, Hal.
Oh. At least JR handled it like a pro. Sorry, Sid. Sorry, pal. Number 5, the worst chokeslam of all time. Hulk Hogan is older than the building I'm recording this in. He's older than pretty much all the computers. This was a cold reminder of his age. He was battling The Undertaker at Judgment Day 2002 for the Undisputed Championship, and the dead man went for a chokeslam. Either Hogan's ability to jump is diminished with age, or gravity is not a Hulkamaniac, because he managed to get a whole inch off the ground before Undertaker lowered him gently to the floor. But honestly, bless the dead man for attempting a cover after that. Bless him. Number 4, Joey Mercury's nose. Before he traded in his tights for the most adorable little child suit, Joey Mercury was a member of M&M with the world's prettiest man and the human scream. They were battling the Hardy Boys in a ladder match at Armageddon, and Matt Hardy leapt from the turnbuckle, swinging a ladder up into everyone's face. Jeff Hardy was fine, Johnny Nitro was fine, Joey Mercury was not. The ladder caught him full in the nose, breaking it in all sorts of ways. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Number 3, Triple H near breaks a man's neck. Not even the King of Kings is immune from a botch. Well, to be fair, Trips wasn't the one botching here, but it's fun to blame him for things, so here we go. He's wrestling Marty Garner on an episode of Superstars. Hunter goes for a pedigree. Garner thinks he's going for an underhook suplex and leaps way too high, so that when Triple H drives him down, it's right on his melon. It gave Garner severe neck problems, and he sued the WWE. The other guy in the match, though? No one really knows what happened to him. Number 2, that shooting star press.
I know
the
this
shooting
one.
star press I mean. The one where Lesnar concussed himself by almost, but not quite, landing the aerial move on Kurt Angle at WrestleMania. Look at him, soaring through the air with the grace of an eagle being snatched out of the sky by a screaming bear. Still, he finished the match with a severe concussion because Brock Lesnar doesn't play by human rules. Number 1, Owen Hart breaks Austin's neck. The move that shortened Austin's career. At SummerSlam 1997, he was facing Owen Hart in a Kiss My Ass match, let's not forget. For reasons known only to Austin and Hart, Owen scooped up the rattlesnake and went for a sit-out tombstone pile driver. Austin's head was positioned far too low and landed right on top of it, compressing his red neck to near breaking point. He was briefly paralyzed, but still managed to win the match with, in the man's own words, the worst roll-up in the history of wrestling. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Tell us about it in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and you can even follow me on Twitter here. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and I'll see you soon.
Okay. I did a few tidbits of wrestling school. There was a guy who ran a wrestling school in my hometown, and I took a few lessons from him. And me and my friends, we tried the moves out. It went under his supervision, and which I suggest, guys, do not try this crap at home. Do this under direct supervision of a professional if you're going to try it.
Yeah.
So anyway, we did like simple stuff, like scoop slams and suplexes and everything. And there was a guy there. I forget his name for the life of me. It's I think 10 years since I did this. And anyway, I tried it. I tried to do a suplex and everything. And this guy was huge. He was like 6'6", weighing 300 pounds. And he's like, just pull as hard as you can. Pull on my shorts as hard as you can, and don't tuck my head under. Just pull up from here and pull on my just yank up on my shorts, and I'll jump over and just fall straight back. I was like, okay. And I suplexed this big guy. And you see, I've seen some guys, like they do like a full suplex. They hold them up in the air, one arm, and then slam them down.
Mm-hmm.
People who can do that have like immense back strength. And maybe I can get there someday if I build my back up, but I just couldn't do it. This guy was a monster. He actually, I told Ben about this. When me and my friends started, it was like, okay, let's work on pile drivers. I'm like, oh, okay now.
Nope,
No,
it's okay.
No, I do not want a broken neck. And anyway, at the end of it, the guy asked, well, do you have anything in mind for like finishers? And like no one could think of anything decent. And me, I was just like, okay, I have an idea, because I was a fan of The Rock at the time. Here's what my finisher was. I told Ben about this, and you all probably remember this as well. I called it the Vision Quest, and what it was is you pick someone up like a scoop slam, and you hold them across like a cross body. You have their legs are like pointing out here, their heads up here. You're holding them like this, and what you do is you get your arm under their arms, and you twist around, and you come down, and you slam them down like a rock, like a rock bottom. Like you've seen The Rock do, like a rock bottom. You do that with a swing, and it looks like a slingshot move, and it looks like it'll hurt him a lot. But I showed him how to do that. He the big 6'6" dude. He's like, okay, all right, show me what to do. And I remember Ben said, I could just imagine the picture: this big 300-pound 6'6" guy picking up this smaller 130-pound guy. Who's like, all right, show me what to do. And I almost died laughing when Ben said that, but. Anyway, I showed him how to do it, and he pulls the move off flawlessly. I mean, he'd been doing this for a long time, and he looks up at me and he's like, "You mind if I borrow that?" And I was just like,
"Yes."
All right. And I was just like, "Yeah, you can call it whatever you want." He's like, "No, I like Vision Quest. I'll call it that." And it was just like, okay. And I was thinking, if I ever want to, I've been thinking about like trying to do like wrestling moves again. Like, there's a few wrestling schools around here in the Tri-Cities, like professional wrestling schools, and I'd like to not like do like full matches, like anything like that, but I'd like to maybe do a show or two, like quick 5-minute matches, see how my in-ring performance is, because I'd like to think I could appeal to the crowd a bit.
That's how we're gonna go viral, is Nate's professional wrestling matches.
No, I know. Well, I've gone to school with. I've been in colleges around this area. Like, some of the people I've met actually moonlighted as professional wrestlers, and they said, "Oh, dude, I just go in there and they just tell me what to do, and they tell me to win or they tell me to lose. Most of the time, they tell me to lose because they want their guys to look strong. And it's just like, okay." And I actually saw this guy. This guy was 5'6", weighed about 250 pounds. And honestly, this guy was like a butterball. I kid you not. And he comes running out in these wrestling tights, bright red wrestling tights.
Nope. I
was just dying laughing. He gets in the ring, and he gets in there, and the guy he's facing is like almost, I swear, like 7 feet tall. And I'm just like, this is probably the biggest mismatch I've ever seen in terms of height ever. And he gets in there and he bounces off the ropes and he does takes a few good hits, and then it comes to the end of the match and he's having to jump off the top rope for his big move was a big splash off the top rope. Anyway, he gets up on the top rope, jumps off, and the guy rolls out of the way and he slams down like chest first and everything. And as he put it later on, it was like falling onto a marshmallow because they put like heavy padding on the ring. And that's one thing that a lot of people don't know about. They've torn the ring up for WWE, and the padding is like that thick. And like they can take like the ring is designed for you to take hits and everything. There's wood under it, and it's there to make the sound, like a heavy impact sound. Yeah. But overall, they're falling onto pretty thin padding or pretty decent padding. But anyway, as he put it, he said it was like falling onto like belly first onto a marshmallow, and then the guy picks him up and like does his finishing move. And he lost, but he walks out of the ring and everything. And he was playing the heel, he was like playing the heel. He like came out, he was like looking out in the crowd like, oh, shut up.
Right.
Like typical heel stuff. The guy comes out, the bigger guy comes out and he's like the face, the hero and everything. And it was like a big turn in the match where everything, like he landed like a fake low blow, and the theatrics behind it are actually really good, and whenever people are good at pulling those off, you can get so invested. That's just like me. I got real heavily invested in professional wrestling. I mean, honestly, me and my dad, internet, if you want to hold me to this, I'll show you the evidence for it. Me and my dad went to WrestleMania 18 in Toronto, effing Canada.
Been to Toronto. Nice city.
Yeah, nice city. I like it. Or as Drake calls it, the Six. I'm not calling it that. But I went there, and it was in the Sky Dome. Or as it is now, what is it called now? The Rogers Center? Mm. I think that's what it's called now. But it was the Sky Dome when I went, and my goodness, that place was just buzzing because it was Hulk Hogan versus The Rock. The dream match, as they put it. And it was actually a pretty good match. It was actually, at first, I thought The Rock was going to get the most cheers, but I forgot how popular Hulk Hogan was. And everyone in there was just chanting, Hogan, Hogan. And then Hogan lost, and everyone in the place just started booing. I'll never forget that as long as I live. My dad, who doesn't like professional wrestling as much, he got into it. He was like, Hogan, Hogan.
That was one of my favorite episodes of the A-Team where Hulk Hogan was on there and teamed up with BA and the rest of the guys.
They actually did that teaming at WrestleMania as well. That was actually the main event. It was Mr. T and Hulk Hogan versus Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful, I think.
Okay.
I think, I'm not sure. My wrestling history is a little bit rusty, but I still got all my old VHS tapes in there of the recorded pay-per-views from WCW and WWF way back when.
I'd say a lot of our viewership doesn't even know what VHS is.
No, I know. And I guarantee you one day I'm just going to pull them all out and just be like, this is WrestleMania 17. This is No Mercy 2002. And it's just like, why? And people will just be like, dude, you're pathetic. And I'll be like, I know. But
hey, like what you like.
I know. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it, I believe, for this episode of Renegades React. This was the 10 worst botches in WWE history by WhatCulture Wrestling. And check out WhatCulture Wrestling down below in the description. There's a link to their to the original video. Also, to check out their channel. They have all sorts of cool stuff on their channel. They even started up their own wrestling promotion, WCPW. Give it a watch. See what the storyline is on there. And also, don't forget in the description as well, there's all of our various other endeavors. And also, check the, what is it? Oh, yeah, check down below in the comments. Leave a comment down there if you like the video. Also, leave a suggestion if there's anything else you want us to watch. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, everyone, we will see you later. Peace out.